right, let's have a look at doors. And they come in various styles, as you know. There's the kind with rails and stiles and panels in between, this fancier, more sculptural style. They come just plain. These tend to be the least expensive when you get those hollow core doors. And in more commercial settings, there are fire-rated doors. So the code says that a door on the outside of your house, an exterior door, has to be at least 3 feet wide, or 36 inches wide, and at least 6 feet 8 inches tall, or 80 inches tall. This is one of the questions in our worksheet today. And I will just note as a side note, the ADA, the Americans with Disabilities Act, requires at least 3 feet wide in order for wheelchairs to get through. And if you want to design a house that can be visited by someone in a wheelchair or used by someone in a wheelchair, you should just make all the doors 3 feet wide. Now, as I think we mentioned another day, the outside door in a house has to swing in toward the house. So here is the outside of a house. Here is the door swinging inward, which is kind of counterintuitive to me anyway. But the reason for that is if it swings outward, you can't have somebody standing on the porch outside your door because you'll sweep them off the porch. Inside the house, in an interior wall, you want the door to swing, as you see in the upper left picture here, you want the door to swing against the wall of the room you're walking into. So the one in the upper left is good. This one in the upper right is not good because it's swinging away from that wall and it's just awkward and you can't put stuff there. Now, if you want to put a door right as close to the wall as you can get, the standard space there is 3 inches. That leaves enough room for the door trim and, you know, the framing, the door trim, and so forth. There's a question in our worksheet later on that says, it asks about when you're dimensioning the location of a door, you don't have to give a dimension if it's shown right at that minimum distance. How far is that minimum distance? It's 3 inches. Also, so back on track here, you might also want to put an interior door 2 feet or 24 inches away from a corner. If you want to put some kind of, I don't know, end table or something, some kind of furniture in here, 24 inches is what you want. Or you could put your door in the center of a wall. And here we're talking about interior doors still. You can choose to have a door left hand or right hand, and what that means is which side is the hinge on and which side is the doorknob on. When you draw doors, we've talked about this one before also. So when you draw doors, when you have a door on the outside of your house, an exterior door, you draw a line for a sill across the wall. And a sill is just that horizontal thing at the bottom of the door. There's also a sill at the bottom of a window, by the way. And again, the door has to swing inward. When you draw an interior door, a door inside a room, it's the same sort of door swing symbol, but you just do not draw a sill, because there's no sill, there's just some kind of flooring. And if you're having a door coming from a hall a hallway into a room, then you want the door to swing into the room, not out into the hallway where it's going to be awkward. And I think we have looked at this diagram before too, but here it is again, how to draw a door. So you draw, if this were a 3-foot wide door, you would draw a circle with a radius of 3 feet, and it would be centered at the hinge side of the door opening. Then draw your slopey line representing the door, and then trim off the circle so it looks like this. For dimensioning. I know it may seem counterintuitive, but we are supposed to dimension the location of a door or a window to the center of the opening, and then the framer is trusted to deal with how to center that rough opening about the center line. So we're supposed to put our dimension to the center line, and you can see here that this is a center line, long dash, short dash, long dash, short dash. And then here we are again, this same question from our worksheet. If a door is a minimum distance from the wall, and that minimum distance is 3 inches, then it's okay not to dimension the location of the door, because it's understood that that is the minimum. Finally, when you draw doors in elevation, usually you draw a line that essentially says whether this is a right-handed door or a left-handed door. What you are showing with a hidden line is which side is the hinge on. And you can think of this hidden line as an arrow pointing towards the hinge. And the hidden line comes from the upper corner and the bottom corner of the door, and then moves diagonally to the midpoint of the other side of the door, pointing at the hinge. Some offices do this and some offices don't. You'll have to ask if you work in an office, you'll have to ask your boss whether they do this or not.